We are going to find a solution. We are going to make it right.
You don't want to just crush him?
I like that.
The four of us will face the danger. We will protect you.
Family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to this non-spoiler review for the Fantastic Four First Steps, film I got a chance to see just a few days ago, and I'll be going to see it again today with a bunch of the Geek Buddies and some other friends who are down here for San Diego Comic-Con. But I thought I'd stop by and do a quick non-spoiler review for this movie, let you know my overall thoughts on it. Before I do, so I want to remind you all to please subscribe to the channel down below and hit that bell button so you see we're dropping all the content just like this and all my other shows here on the soon-to-be John Rocha channel. But let's get into this movie here. I'll tell you right off the bat, I really enjoyed the Fantastic Four First Steps. I've not been a fan of the previous Fantastic Four movies, never been really my jam. I even wasn't the biggest fan of the Fantastic Four in the Marvel comics. I kind of leaned towards other Marvel characters, but they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Matt Shakman does an incredible job directing this movie, really capturing that retro futuristic look from the 1950s and also making it feel very topical, making it feel very relatable, and diving into the emotion that's going on with all of these characters and the things that they're confronting. And I really enjoyed the cinematography, the action sequences, the performances throughout this whole movie, and the script. Now, are there some issues with the film? Yes, there are, and I'll get to those a little bit later. But let's start with the overall story here. Basically, it's just the Fantastic Four. You're thrown right into it, kind of like Superman. You're thrown right into the movie. You know who the Fantastic Four are. There's a quick little montage to let you know their backstory and all of that. And it's made very clear to you that they are the protectors of this Earth. They're beloved by the populace, very similar to some of the astronauts in the 1950s and 60s. If you go back and watch some of the footage and some of the coverage and some of the ways they spoke about these astronauts back then, there is this healthy respect and admiration until we get to Mole Man, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And then eventually Galactus comes to confront them after they've gotten this news that Sue is pregnant. And now it becomes a whole battle between Galactus and Silver Surfer versus the Fantastic Four for the existence of this planet. And it's a back and forth trying to figure out how they're going to save this planet without sacrificing something they truly love. And so it's really fascinating to watch how this all plays out in the movie. And I thought this absolutely grasped the Jack Kirby energy and Jack Kirby vibe and feel from those old comics from the 1950s, really brought it to life here in the movie and got you to dial into it. There's a breeziness, there's an easiness to this film, even though the stakes are high, even though the stakes are like the world's going to end and Galactus is going to eat this world. Overall, you kind of have this confidence and this feeling that they're going to handle it. And I think that's where people might have some issues with the film about how it wraps up and about how they end things. But I think if you get lost in that, that means the film didn't grab you fully, so that by the end, if you don't accept the way it goes down, I think it's probably because you've got some other issues with the film and it didn't 100% come together in the way that you would like. But for me, it really did, and I didn't mind it. Now let's go with performances. I thoroughly enjoyed everybody in this movie. Pedro Pascal is fantastic as Mr. Fantastic. There you go. I knew I was going to do that at some point in this review. I really enjoyed what he brought to the table. I liked his introspective approach to Reed Richards. I like that he's a guy who relies on science, but he really cares about everybody around him. But he also has these blind spots in his approach to things that the other crew fill in, the other crew make him aware of. And I think it's important. And he's not some angry guy who's consumed with science and doesn't care what anybody has to say. He's very open to hear other people's points of views and be receptive to it. And he's vulnerable at times when it could work against him as a leader of the Fantastic Four, as a person to protect the planet. You see in the trailer that he says, I don't know if we're safe. And so there's an honesty through him and an earnestness through him that I think is great to see throughout the whole movie. Vanessa Kirby is a star. She's so good as Sue Storm. I really enjoyed her. This is the best Sue Storm we've seen yet, and she really brings it and embodies this character, makes you care about her from the beginning and her journey from the beginning, and care about what she's trying to do, the relationship she has with Reed, her moments of anger and her moments of frustration, combined with her moments of joy and love and respect, and a maternal instinct that she has throughout the whole movie for this crew. In the moments she gets to shine with her powers and gets to show how powerful she can really be, they build up to those moments really well, in my opinion, in the film. And Joseph Quinn is excellent as Johnny Storm. I really like the energy he brings to Johnny Storm. Again, this is an earnest character who's trying to prove himself to Reed, to Sue, to Ben, to the team that he is important, that he's got something to offer, while also being a guy who's caught up in being a young man in a team like this, and the attention and the fame and all of that, and navigating all of that. And it's really cool. But you sense that he's got a genuine love and affection for his sister, for Reed, for Ben, and that carries throughout the whole film. And I like his interactions, especially with Silver Surfer. Eben Moss-Bachrach as the Thing is so good. One of the things that I think some people might have an issue with in the movie is that they don't dive in too much into his angst over being the Thing, which is such a hallmark of these Fantastic Four stories. He's kind of accepted his existence. He's accepted his role in all of this, and he tries his best to kind of help everybody through their own personal dark spaces. It's a really interesting approach to the character that I thoroughly enjoyed, one I hadn't quite seen in some time. So to see him kind of helping everybody through their moments and being that uncle, being that best friend, being that confidant is really great to see. The beard thing totally worked for me. And I like the moments that he gets to shine and take control of situations. And I think Julia Garner is great here as Shalabal. I love what she delivers here as Silver Surfer, and the connections that she has with Johnny, the back and forth, as I mentioned, the chemistry, it really works. And when she comes in to warn them, you feel the weight of the warnings there and the interactions and the journey that she goes on. I highly enjoyed her performance. Ralph Ineson as Galactus, man, that voice gets put to such great use as Galactus, and really enjoyed the visual spectacle of Galactus. Getting to see him on the screen like this, I think was just awe-inspiring, jaw-dropping. I just was so impressed by it. I mean, I caught myself in the press screening yelping out a couple of times when I saw him because it was so massive. I just was so blown away by this kind of stuff, especially as someone who enjoyed him in the comics. Whenever he popped up, whether in Fantastic Four or other runs, I really enjoy the spectacle and the majesty and the overall just overwhelming sense and of the bigness of him, and that came through a number of times in the movie. As for the other actors, Natasha Lyonne does a good job with Rachel Rosman, but she doesn't get a lot of real estate to show what she can do. I think that's one of the negatives of the movie, is some of these other ancillary characters don't get to do more in the film and don't get to be fleshed out a little bit more in the film. And I think that kind of ruins some of the moments that really could have been delivered with a bit more oomph. Paul Walter Hauser delivers another damn good performance. Paul is always good as Mole Man, but we don't get a lot with Mole Man. I would have liked a little bit more so that when certain things happen near the end of the movie, they come with a little more obstacles, a little more of a challenge. And so unfortunately, that isn't quite what happens. I also think Mark Gatiss, Sarah Niles, they don't get a chance to shine too much. They're kind of just thrown in to do their things, and then they're thrown out of the movie. And I would have liked a little bit more with them as well. Another thing I enjoyed the screenplay here. Josh Friedman, Eric Pearson, Jeff Kaplan, and Ian Springer deliver a good screenplay here. Not a great one, a good one. Certainly it shines the most when they're having these relationship conversations about their friendship, about their ability to work together, their chemistry, and especially when the big things that happen when it comes to Sue and the baby. Those moments really shine in the script. Some of the interactions with Galactus and Silver Surfer, I think, shine as well. Where I think the film drops a little bit is that some of the obstacles, some of the challenges, they kind of get through them a little too easily. As I said, it's breezy, and sometimes that can work against the film. Most of the time in the film, it works in its favor. But in those critical moments, I think it does kind of undercut a little bit of the weight of the stakes. And, by the time that all happened, I was already in on the film, so I kind of forgave it. But it is something that I think is a legitimate criticism to make about the movie itself. So overall, I like the film. I give it a 4.25 out of 5 cowboy hats. It's a thoroughly enjoyable time in the movie theater. Matt Shakman does an incredible job directing this thing. The cinematography, the costumes, the look, the visual, the production design, all of it works so well. It's one of the best offerings Marvel has done in quite some time, and it's thoroughly one you can sink into and enjoy. And I think the rewatchability factor is very high with a movie like this as well. I want to hear what you think. Let me know down in the comments section below. Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? What stood out to you? What didn't stand out to you? What scenes worked for you? And what do you think was missing, or what do you think was added here that you really enjoyed or missed seeing in this movie? Let me know all of it down in the comments section below. Remember, we'll have a spoiler review. I'll probably have a singular spoiler review coming up this Sunday, and then we'll have a spoiler review with the Geek Buddies after Comic-Con is over. We'll let you know all about that on our social media. Thanks so much for watching this review. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Go see Fantastic Four, and I'll talk to you next time with another brand new review here on the soon-to-be John Rocha channel.